Welcome to the AI Coding Paradox, an AI-generated podcast brought to you by Bubble Space, that's BUBBLSPACE.com. I'm Sarah Chen.
And I'm Alex Rivera. Before we dive in, let me share something fascinating about how this podcast was created. Bubble Space transforms a single document into 4 powerful formats: micro-learning modules, use cases, quizzes. In this podcast,
And enterprise teams are really leveraging these time capsules for engagement, skill development, and marketing growth. But today, we're tackling something that's been causing quite a stir in the tech world.
you're right, Sarah, we're looking at a statistic that's honestly quite shocking. Less than 5% of developers worldwide are using AI-based coding tools. And when you dig deeper, the actual usage numbers for some coding copilot tools could be as low as 500,000 users. That's the us about Z's.
That's tiny, especially when you consider there are 26 million professional developers out there. And Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the actual number of people who interact with code much larger?
Absolutely. The estimates suggest around 150 million people touch code in some way or another. That's a massive untapped market we're looking at.
Let's break this down for our listeners. What's causing this surprisingly low adoption rate?
Well, I've been analyzing this using what I call the Tolstoy principle of product market fit.
Intrigued. The Tolstoy principle? You've got to explain that one.
You know how Tolstoy said, all happy families are alike, every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way? Well, the same applies to startups and product market fit. Every startup that fails to achieve it fails in its own unique way.
That's fascinating. And how does this apply to AI coding tools?
Well, we're seeing multiple unique challenges. First, there's the obvious cost barrier. But it goes deeper. There's this complex web of issues around feature complexity, bad product design, and security concerns.
I've heard developers complain that beyond basic boilerplate code, these AI tools struggle with complex real-world applications.
Exactly. And here's where it gets interesting. We're seeing this inverted pyramid in the AI ecosystem. Can you explain that financial dynamic, Sarah?
Sure. So you've got these foundational model companies at the top, AI infrastructure companies in the middle, and companies building real-world applications at the bottom. But here's the kicker. Those companies at the bottom, the ones actually finding the best use cases, they're only sending about 10% of total revenue up the pyramid.
You know what this reminds me of? Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but for product development.
Oh, that's interesting. Break that down for us.
So at the base, you have the need-to-have features. Then you build up through story, consumer, connection. And at the top, you're converting nice-to-have features into need-to-have through FOMO, fear of missing out.
But it seems like many AI companies are building from the top down instead of the bottom up.
Precisely. They're focusing on the wow features when they should be solving basic fundamental problems first. It's what I call the minimum something, maximum something else principle.
Can you elaborate on that?
It's simple, really, from a user's perspective. Value is getting the maximum output while putting in minimum input. But too many companies are building from their perspective rather than the customer's.
So what's the solution? What should companies be doing differently?
Based on successful cases we've studied, it comes down to 3 key things. First, focus on AI features that your team genuinely loves working with. Second, transform those nice-to-have features into must-haves. And third, and this is crucial, always prioritize the customer's perspective over the builder's.
Let's talk about the empathy map approach that some successful startups are using.
Yes, this is crucial. Before rushing into development, successful companies are doing deep empathy mapping, followed by market study and validation. It's about really understanding your audience, their needs, their purchasing power, and most importantly, connecting with them on an emotional level.
Time for a quick wrap-up. What's your key takeaway for our startup listeners, Alex?
Choose an audience you connect well with and understand deeply. Empathy isn't just a buzzword. It's the foundation of product market fit. What about you, Sarah?
For me, it's about moving fast but moving smart. Release your MVP, but make sure it solves a real problem, even if it's small. Sometimes less AI is more.
That's all we have time for today. Remember to check out bubblespace.com to see how one document can transform into multiple learning experiences.
Thanks for listening to the AI Coding Paradox. I'm Sarah Chen.
And I'm Alex Rivera. See you next time.